Greetings, fantasy football update fans. Limited amount of time today, so I'm going to try to be a little more efficient. Wrote some notes, and let's get to it. We are here live in the Make the Waffle Studios in Longmont, Colorado. And I'm just going to give you a rundown of how things are going. It was a good week. We went 10-2 this week. I'm not in 12 football leagues. There's some competition against the average in some of that, and it's a little deceptive. And I'll just tell you now, there's some of these leagues I spend very little time on just because they're not that important. But in the interests of full disclosure, I thought I would talk to you about them. In fact, I got involved in a new league this week that I will try to touch on. I have a feeling it's going to be its own video. It's a pretty intense process, and of course I love it. So let's get started, shall we? First of all, this will be one league again. At some point, I will not have to update you on. It's the Guillotine League. That again, I will say for the fourth week in a row, I am never doing one of these again. It is so stressful. But I survived. I finished 6th out of 8. So now there are only 7 teams left. The guy who bailed me out the week before last is the guy who got eliminated this week. In fact, he was projected, he's right over here, that's his username. He was projected to score the most points, and Jacobs got hurt. Josh Jacobs got hurt. The guy he traded me for got hurt in the middle of the game, got him like 4 points, and the rest of his team did not bail him out. So he went from first to out like almost immediately. It was crazy to watch. But for what it's worth, I did trade him the handcuff to Josh Jacobs, and he had already cut him. So, had he been in a pinch and started them both, maybe he'd have been okay. But I don't know. I haven't done the math. All I know is I messaged him. I said, hey, man, thanks for bailing me out. But I was really thinking you were going to outlast me anyway, and sorry you're gone. And he was a good sport about it. So for what it is worth, I'm looking pretty good. I got a few transactions in. I'm going to probably get rid of Rachaad White. I might get rid of Zach Ertz. I think I'm pretty set, at least for now, with Kelsey, and I'm pretty set with Benson coming back from IR at some point. But I do need someone else to put in this flex spot, and right now I don't have anyone. So I've put in a couple of $1 transaction requests, and again, there's no way I'll get any of these guys. They will, Jonathan Taylor. How did the guy with Jonathan Taylor get eliminated? Oh, yeah, I think he had a bye. Jonathan Taylor had a bye week. So, it just didn't work out for this guy. I will not be able to get Taylor. I won't be able to get Rice. I won't be able to get any of these guys. But I have put in some bids for some lower tier guys. Josh Jacobs, I won't be able to get back. But, just someone to throw in there. And for what it's worth, I was projected going into this week to finish last. I was supposed to get axed. I was at like 49%, which was the lowest percentage to stay out of it of anybody. And again, this guy was sitting somewhere in the 60s, 70s, something like that, and he got cut. So, anyway, another Guillotine League update next week. This is a family league I was invited to, and this team's just rolling. We are 9-2, and we're doing great. Can't complain. I did pick up Henderson off the waiver wire and put him in, and he scored 32 points for me. London did great. Did have a little bit of an injury issue this week with who was it this week? I already forgot. Well, first of all, Jonathan Taylor for me was on a bye this week, and I still rolled because I had Henderson. But somebody got hurt this week, and I cannot figure out who it was. So much for being efficient, right? I feel like it might have been Devontae Adams, but he might just be questionable. I'm not sure. So this team's doing pretty well. We did weather the Rice suspension, the Rashee Rice suspension on this team, and the Jonathan Taylor-Bijan combo. If they're both healthy going into the playoffs, I don't know who's going to overcome that to get me. But I will say this: I've had a lot of teams that have had very good records going into the playoffs, and it's just as good a chance as they're going to lay an egg at the wrong time as it's that they're going to keep going. So, a little bit of money in this league, not very much, but I always like to win money. So we'll hope that continues. But that team's going to be in the playoffs. I don't think there's any question. This is my oldest dynasty team. We are 4-7. We are 2 games out of the playoffs with 3 to play. I am probably just writing this out. The trade deadline is week 13, so I do have some time, especially going through this week, to kind of see what I want to maybe or maybe not make a move. I can tell you this team has Bijan Robinson, and if I have a trade piece, that's probably it. I don't know if I want to do that. He has been my warrior since I started this team. He was my first draft pick. I actually did trade him away one off season, and then ended up trading to get him back because he passed a few hands, and they came back to me, and I said, well, look, this is what I gave, this is what I got for him. I'm not willing to pay that to get him back, and they took a lesser price. So I ended up getting him back and having a few pieces left over. So anyway, Bijan, I doubt I'm going to trade. Bo Nix is coming around. I love having him. This is a nice young team. I like having Pearsall. I love Egbuka. That dude is awesome. Calvin Austin's been coming on a little bit. Yeah, we just got some really good pieces. Will Howard might even end up seeing some time before the end of the year, and I've been really kind of hanging on to him for a while. So I don't necessarily think this is the defending champs, and I don't necessarily think as constructed we've got a chance to repeat. I really don't. But I would like to make the playoffs and at least have a shot. If I don't even make the playoffs, that'll be a little sad. But again, I'm 2 games out with 3 to play, and I just don't know if I'm going to have enough to get there. If I win 3 straight, I think I'm in. If I don't win 3 straight, then I don't think I'm in. And basically the playoffs start now. So we'll see how that goes. But having won it, and by the way, the previous year, I think I was the runner-up, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I was. First year I was runner-up. Second year I won it. So I can take a little step back this year and not feel too bad about it. This is my oldest standing league. This is the year 33 league, Hoopton Corn Jerkers. They are struggling. They're 5-6 and probably going to make the playoffs. All you have to do in this league is win 7. There's another whole video on this league, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. But we laid an egg. Like, we were the least efficient as far as picking the right players. We were the underperforming as far as meeting our projections, and it just the lowest score in the league this week, and it was not good. So I don't know that Hoopton, as constructed again, is going to be able to make it either. And that league's trade deadline is this week. So I'm going to have to figure something out if I want to make a move. Don't know how that's necessarily going to work out. A little bit of money in this league, but I think again, the last 2 years in this one, there's a silent bidding process in the build up to the draft, and in both the last 2 years, I have really screwed up that silent bidding. I have not done well, and it has shown in my team's performance. So I'm going to try to go 7-7, but even if I do that, I don't feel real great about that team. Little second-year dynasty team. This is a lot of the people that were in the other league. We were thinking about making that other league a dynasty. A lot of people didn't want to do that. It's more of a keeper league than a dynasty. So we just created another league and made it a dynasty. And this team is now 10-12. We were 2-12, so we won 8 straight. We also play against the average every week. And I've been beating the average and beating my opponents. Barely. Like, not by much. But I've been doing it. So we now are in a position where we got a shot. We're just out of the playoff hunt by a game, and there's plenty to play. And again, you get the average you're playing against too, so there's more ability to make up for lost time. I'm considering making a move for Cortland Sutton in this league because, again, as constructed, I don't know that I've got my best shot. The guy I'm talking to about getting Sutton, though, he wants Colston Loveland back. That was not a guy I was planning on trading. So we'll see. I'm still thinking about it. We've got until Cortland Sutton's on a bye this week, so it's not like it matters much. as far as this week goes, and I've got until Monday night at the end of the Monday Night Football to figure it out. But I just don't know if I am into trading the rookie that I picked this year, who's just now coming around, really. But we'll see. I also know the guy I'm talking to has Kelsey, and if I want to make a run, Kelsey might be a guy that can make a run. So maybe we'll work it out. We'll see. But 10-12 after starting 2-12, that's quite a turnaround. And if we complete the comeback, that's the kind of comeback that other teams may find hard to stop. If I get in the playoffs and I'm rolling, especially with a couple of new pieces, it might be all the way. We'll see. And that would be quite a turnaround. Last year I was third from the bottom. In the startup year, I had Anthony Richardson as one of my starting quarterbacks last year, and he's been on my taxi squad all year. So yeah, there's that. Here's a random dynasty league I'm in. It's a super flex. I'm 4-7. I'm 2 games out of the playoffs. And interestingly enough, man, I normally have more teams that are crushing, and we're about to get to those. But this 5-6, 4-7 business, man, I'm really struggling with some of this. I will say this is a team I'm going to have a little regret. I think I had pieces I think that might have gotten me to the championship, but going into the draft, I was given some offers for players that I couldn't refuse. They were overpaying. I traded Amon-Ra St. Brown, which you got to give me a lot to get me to trade him away, and they did. It was 2 first-round picks and then some to get him. So I don't know. We'll see. This team is loaded with draft capital. In fact, I traded away Courtland Sutton from this team. Got a couple more draft picks for the future, not even 2026, but 27 and 28. And because Sutton was just sitting on my bench, I'm that deep. I've really got good players. So Wan'Dale Robinson kind of made Sutton expendable. So anyway, Jaylen Warren's been killing it. Here's Wan'Dale right here. Here's, I got the rookie wide receiver who just killed it this week, 33 points. I traded for Tyrone Tracy, and I also traded for Devin Singletary. So I've got a couple of those guys. I'm going to have to start putting Gainwell in the lineup. He's doing really well. Picked up this Williams guy as soon as I traded Courtland Sutton because I felt like he might be a little diamond in the rough. So far, not so much. But lots of tight ends on this team. It really is frustrating for me to not have really just more pieces than tight ends. But 4-7, we'll just keep plugging away. I can tell you after having acquired some picks and stuff, I'm really rooting against some other teams so that if I don't make it, maybe their draft picks will get me higher up in the draft board. So we'll see how that goes. Here is the last sleeper league I'm in. This one is a 1-quarterback dynasty league, which I think might be a dinosaur these days. Lamar Jackson scoring me 4 points, which should not happen. I actually considered trading him. We've got a trade deadline in this league coming up, and I thought about trading him. I really did. In fact, I still might. Probably won't, but I still might. Also traded for Tyrone Tracy in this league, and he's doing pretty well. Here's Pearsall. I love the guy, but man, he's either injured or underperforming. Seems like all the time. Picked up Dortch and started him, and he saved my bacon. Scored 18 points. Marvin Harrison Jr. had appendicitis or something, and that helped me out here. Brown's been the warrior on this team forever. I've been playing him for all the seasons I've had this team. And look at Ollie Gordon, who I've thought about cutting a few times and haven't done it. And here's Singletary on my bench too. And here's Gainwell again. If I pick the right pieces, this team's got the potential to do it. And for what it's worth, they're 5-6 and in right now the last playoff spot. This is a 16-team dynasty, and 8 teams make the playoffs. My first year, I was the 8th seed. I went all the way to the championship and lost. Last year, I did not make the playoffs. I had McCaffrey and Pacheco. They both got hurt. So I traded them away, and I've been trying to build ever since. So this team has got R.J. Harvey. It's got Quinshon Judkins. It's got some really good young pieces, and I have a feeling it's only going to get better. I literally may trade Lamar Jackson at some point just because he is frustrating AF. Anything I'm leaving out here? We are fifth in scoring in this league, which means if we can get in the playoffs, I think we got a shot. I think that's all the notes that I had. I'm going to jump over here on the screen to some Yahoo leagues. We have a family league that I lost in this week, and I just can't imagine again why this team is 6-5. We're third in scoring, but we're 6-5, which means everyone has their best week against us. But I do think we're going to make the playoffs. So again, get me in there, and I'll take my chances. That's for sure. We're in fifth place. 6 teams make the playoffs, and we're 2 games up. I think with at least a couple of games left, or 2 or 3 to play. So I think we're going to make it. But that one has been a frustrating league to watch. This one's my biggest money league here in Yahoo, and we won. We're 8-3. In fact, we've won 5 straight. We are first in the league in points, and kind of killing it. Really excited about this league in the playoffs. I did some research, by the way. So let me see. I've been in this league 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leagues, 7 seasons prior to this season. My finishes, starting with last year and working backwards, are first, second, first. So I've been in the Super Bowl for this league 4 straight years, and I'm in position to make it a 5th. I finished third 5 years ago, and then 2 years prior to that, I finished second and second. So I've never finished worse than third in 7 years in this league, and I'm poised to keep that streak alive. The interesting thing with this league is with 4 second place finishes, I do know for a fact that several of those teams should have won it. And interestingly, some of these first place teams that did win it, the 2 that did win it, I think one of them was pretty dominant. I think the other one wasn't. I think I snuck in and won it. So this is just one of my favorite leagues. I bet you the people that are in it are sick of seeing me win, but until they kick me out, I'm just going to keep on keeping on, as they say. So that one's the big money league, and I'm hoping we do pretty well in that. Running this team with a family member, we are 6-5. We're in the playoff spot. Last week we weren't, so we've had to fight to get back into that. But we are tied with 2 other teams at 6-5, so we can't take anything for granted here. Biggest problem with this team, pretty much, we keep losing quarterbacks. We lost Daniels, and then last week we lost Rodgers. And I feel like there might have even been another one in there somewhere that we lost. Little roster error here. I picked up a tight end, Gadsden, and he has the same bye week as our starting tight end, Ertz. So we may end up for 1 week having 3 tight ends because I don't want to cut either one of them. But I did not notice they had the same bye week. Probably cutting Rodgers this week. Can't wait for Trey Benson to come back. If he comes off the IR, right now it doesn't even look like we'd need to start him. We wouldn't. But I think it'll be good to have him on reserve because somebody's probably going to get hurt. So I'm feeling pretty good about that team. We should be in the playoffs when it's all said and done. We are third in scoring in that league. So just get us in, give us our shot. Here's an irrelevant league that I spend about 30 seconds a week on. I'm 9-1. I think this is a bunch of kids, a bunch of students I used to teach in this league, and I don't think they're paying attention. So, yeah, I'll probably win it, but who knows? Maybe somebody gets lucky and gets me. I'm not sure, but don't want to really spend a lot of time on this. 9-1. We even started a week late. That's why it's 9-1 instead of 10-1 or 9-2. Old standing league that I've won the last 2 years. I'm 6-5. There's 12 teams in the league. We're 5th place. Everybody makes the playoffs. But you really want to try and position yourself to be up in the standings so when you get to the playoffs, you're playing those lower tier teams. This one's a bloodbath when it gets to the end. I think I've said that before. There is one manager in this thing, by the way, who decided to let the ESPN computer manage their team, and they are 7-4, and I've already made the prediction that they're going to win it. They're right ahead of me in the standings, and they beat me twice, I think. I don't think I've come close to beating that computer team. So that's a student who kind of got roped in, didn't really want to do it, but their friend wanted him in, and they're letting the computer do it. And I don't know. I probably would have to make a rule on that at some point and just say no, but it's not, there's no money. It doesn't really matter. So we'll just let it roll. But top 4 teams get a bye, and I would love to get in to that top 4 before the end of the year and get that bye week. I know for a fact the second place team, he's not even checking his lineup, and he's just rolling through the season at 8-3. So that's the way that goes, folks. I think that covers everything that I wanted to cover. Again, I'm leaving town tomorrow, and was kind of busy all day today, so I had to kind of throw this together real quick. The league I was thinking about mentioning to you guys, I'll just touch on briefly. I got into a league where it's kind of like those basketball leagues. If you've watched some of my basketball leagues, you go in, you get a franchise. The guy who created the league is a Steeler fan, so he took the Steelers first team, and I would have taken them. So I got in and I molded over and I picked the Indianapolis Colts. I've already traded Jonathan Taylor, which will be in a whole other video to talk about. I've gone on the waiver wire, picked up some folks, made some other trades for some lower tier picks, stuff like that. I had a guy come swooping in and offer me a trade, by the way, for a safety. This team, you start 12 defensive players every week. So you have 12 offense, 12 defense. It's crazy. You're starting 24 people every week, and your bench is a solid. I think it's a solid 12 deep. So you got 36. You got a taxi squad. You got linebackers. You've got defensive linemen. You've got cornerbacks. It has been, and I had a bye week with the Colts last week, so I didn't really get to do anything. I was given a loss for that, so I have a feeling the league's not managed real well right now, but we didn't get started until the middle of the season, and I think going into next year is when it'll maybe get serious, but it's been a blast. It has been one of the funnest things I have ever done. I did make a trade, by the way, for Michael Penix. He's on IR. He's probably done for the year. But going into next year, I will actually be starting 2 quarterbacks, and a lot of teams won't be because they only got one with the team that they picked. They'll have their backup, I guess, but that's it. I'll have 2 starters. So I'm already thinking I'll be in pretty good shape, but I can tell you, too, quarterbacks are less valuable because you got 23 other starting positions. And I don't know. I'll be real intrigued to see how this goes. So I'll make a whole other video about this some other time. And I think that covers it. So I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to have an early Thanksgiving. And we're just going to probably just have to check in with you guys next week and let you know how things go while I'm on the road. Hopefully I'll be able to get cell service and set my lineups. You guys stay safe out there. I'll check in with you again.